Welcome to the Vikings Report. Here you will find the latest news and rumors about the Minnesota Vikings. Always up to date with information about transfers, drafts, injuries, behind the scenes, and everything involving the team. If you are a passionate fan and want to stay on top of everything, this is the right place. Turn on notifications and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news. Now let's get to today's news. Vikings Kevin O'Connell reveals Aaron Rodgers' message to J.J. McCarthy. Minnesota Vikings want transparency with J.J. McCarthy amid Aaron Rodgers rumors from the moment the Minnesota Vikings selected J.J. McCarthy in the 2024 NFL Draft. The franchise has made it clear that he is the future of the team. However, with the young quarterback recovering from a torn meniscus and veteran Sam Darnold out, speculation has arisen about bringing in an experienced quarterback to ease the transition. And when it comes to experienced quarterbacks available, one name in particular stands out: Aaron Rodgers, the four-time NFL MVP and future Hall of Famer, who is currently with the New York Jets, has reportedly considered the Vikings as a possible destination this offseason. With Rodgers' familiarity with the NFC North, an offense stacked with talent like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones, and a temporary void at quarterback, many figured a partnership could make sense. Rodgers even reached out to Minnesota, sparking rumors about his possible arrival as a mentor or even transitional quarterback as McCarthy prepares to take over. However, the Vikings quickly put an end to these speculations. Minnesota is committed to J.J. McCarthy, unlike other franchises that might consider Rodgers as a stopgap option. The Vikings have made it clear that their top priority is to develop McCarthy as quickly as possible. The organization believes in the former Michigan quarterback's talent and doesn't want to put any obstacles in the way that could compromise his growth. Aware of the importance of maintaining a relationship of trust with McCarthy from the beginning, Coach Kevin O'Connell made a point of being transparent about the situation. Before the Rodgers rumors even got into full swing, O'Connell decided to tell his rookie quarterback directly about the situation, ensuring he heard it straight from his own coach. "I see him every day during the week, and I thought it was important for him to hear that from me," O'Connell said. According to Alec Lewis of The Athletic, the reigning NFL Coach of the Year has been committed to building a solid relationship with McCarthy, making it clear that he sees him as the Vikings' long-term quarterback and that there is no room for uncertainty about his place on the team. Rodgers to the Vikings? The idea didn't appeal to Minnesota. The possibility of Rodgers donning purple and gold could be tempting to some fans, especially given his vast experience and track record of success against NFC North rivals. However, the Vikings front office appears to have no interest in a quarterback who could steal the spotlight from McCarthy. Additionally, Rodgers isn't exactly known for his mentoring of young quarterbacks. For years with the Green Bay Packers, he was reluctant to help Jordan Love, who ended up taking his place after he left for the Jets. This stance may have been another factor in Minnesota ruling out any possibility of an agreement. Even though McCarthy needs time to adapt to the NFL, the Vikings would rather invest in his growth within their own system, without a figure as dominant as Rodgers hovering over him. Minnesota's future is in good hands. McCarthy comes to Minnesota with high expectations after leading Michigan to the national title in 2023-24. Known for his intelligence, athleticism, and winning mentality, he is seen as the centerpiece of a project that aims to restore the Vikings to the NFC's top ranks. By demonstrating transparency and confidence in his new quarterback, Kevin O'Connell shows that the franchise is committed to building something solid and lasting. Aaron Rodgers may continue to be an attractive name on the market, but for the Vikings, the future already has an owner, and his name is J.J. McCarthy. Nick Chubb close to signing with the Minnesota Vikings, a strategic move to strengthen the running attack. The 2025 NFL draft class promises to be one of the strongest in recent years when it comes to the running back position, with several young talents emerging. This has impacted veterans at the position, such as Nick Chubb, who still remains without a team in free agency. For a player of Chubb's caliber, being a free agent for so long was not in the plans. The running back, who was once one of the most dominant in the league, faces a moment of uncertainty after a season marked by injuries. Still, his name continues to circulate behind the scenes, and one destination may be on the horizon: the Minnesota Vikings. Nick Chubb could strengthen the Vikings' backfield. The Minnesota Vikings are in a moment of transition, with significant changes to the roster and the search for a more balanced defensive identity. The team needs to strengthen its running game to alleviate the pressure on its new quarterback. Kevin O'Connell's team currently holds the 10th overall pick in the draft and could very well select a promising running back like Ashton Jeanty. However, relying solely on the draft could be risky. If Jeanty isn't available when the Vikings pick, the team could end up without an immediate solution to strengthen the area. This is where Nick Chubb comes into play. As a free agent, he represents a reliable option to add experience and physicality to Minnesota's running game. Nick Chubb, stats, challenges, and immediate impact on the Vikings. Despite being one of the most consistent running backs in the NFL over the years, Chubb faces considerable challenges. Last season was difficult for him, as a torn MCL in 2023 limited his participation to just 8 games. Even after returning in Week 7, a broken foot in Week 15 ended his season prematurely. At 29, Chubb no longer displays the same explosiveness that made him one of the league's biggest defensive threats, but his record speaks for itself. In his career, he has accumulated 6,987 rushing yards, 51 touchdowns, averaging 5.1 yards per carry. His physical and aggressive style has always been a differentiator. Even though he is not at the peak of his athleticism, Chubb remains a reliable running back to gain yards in short situations, something essential for a balanced attack. The perfect fit in Minnesota's offense. In recent years, the Vikings have struggled to establish a dominant running game. Since the departure of Dalvin Cook, the team has tried different approaches, but without a true pillar to carry the backfield. With Ty Chandler on the roster, the Vikings already have a dynamic and versatile running back. However, Chandler is not the type of player who can carry an offense by himself. A physical complement like Chubb can bring essential balance to O'Connell's offensive system. Additionally, head coach Ben Johnson, who previously led the Detroit Lions offense, has already shown that he knows how to manage a backfield with multiple talents. In Detroit, he balanced the running game with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Something similar could happen in Minnesota, with Chubb taking on Montgomery's role, ensuring strength and consistency in the final stretch of games. Another interesting factor is the possible reunion between Chubb and DeAndre Swift, with whom he previously shared the backfield at the University of Georgia. The chemistry between the two could be an additional factor in making the Vikings' offense run more smoothly. A valuable piece for the Vikings' new quarterback. With the departure of Kirk Cousins, the Vikings are entering a new era under the command of a young quarterback. Everything indicates that J.J. McCarthy could be the franchise's top pick in the draft. Regardless of who takes over the position, one of the best ways to develop a rookie quarterback is to establish a solid running game. Having Chubb on the roster would mean less pressure on the young QB, allowing Minnesota to utilize play actions and protect their passer in obvious passing situations. A balanced offense could be the key to the Vikings competing immediately in the NFC North. Bottom line, a strategic move for the Vikings. While Nick Chubb is no longer the player who terrorized defenses in the AFC, he still has value for a team looking to strengthen at running back. The Vikings may have a perfect opportunity in the trade market, signing an experienced and productive veteran at an affordable price, ensuring depth at the position while preparing for the future. If Minnesota goes this route, it could end up being one of the smartest moves of the offseason. Now, it remains to be seen whether the Vikings make the decision to bring Chubb to wear the purple and gold.